and welcome to Faith on Film for yet another episode. Thank you for tuning in today. My guest today, and this is the shortest bio I have ever read, by the way. Todd Terry was born on November 12th, 1966 in Dallas, Texas. He's an actor and producer known for Breaking Bad, American Crime, 5 Feet Apart, and of course the reason I'm so excited about having him today here, the new faith-based series, Vindication. Todd, welcome to Faith on Film, my friend. How are you?
Thank you, Isaac. I appreciate you having me on.
You bet. You know what? I got to admit, you are probably the most unassuming celebrity that I've had on the program. When I was looking up your bio, I mean, normally I have about 5 of these, sheets where I'm reading their bio, and this is all I got on you. But but it'll be interesting because we're all going to get a chance to learn all about you and how you got into filmmaking, which is, by the way, how we do the first segment traditionally here is we get to find out your story, not so much what you're doing, but how you got into the film industry. So take the next 5 minutes and just share with us how you became a filmmaker, an actor. Well, I didn't know you were also a producer. So floor's all yours, my friend.
Yeah. So basically, it all began in high school. Mm-hmm. I tell this story sometimes. I was probably 14 years old, and I was going on a family type vacation, and I was in the back of a station wagon just reading Teen Beat magazine. And Scott Baio at the time was the big celebrity. He was on Happy Days, if you remember.
Right.
And I remember seeing that and going, I want to do what that guy does. It was more of a vain kind of, thought process at that time. Sorry, I got my Ring doorbells going off. But in high school, I got into a drama class, and I was a pretty shy kid. So what I found for myself, it was a way that I could exercise my emotions and get out all that stuff that I wasn't comfortable sharing. And it was a safe environment. And I think a lot of actors are possibly like that, especially more introverted actors.
Right.
And then I joined a troupe called Teenage Communication Theater. This was in my latter high school years. And we went around to community centers doing improv skits on anything from drug abuse to teenage pregnancy, things like that. And it was at that point in my life that I figured, hey, I can do this and also give something back, because it was rewarding. You see these kids' faces change, and, hey, they related to something that we, presented to them. So that, to me, was kind of locked it in that this is what I wanted to do. From there, I went to London for a short period of time for the National Youth Theatre of Great Britain. It was more of a summer program. From there, came back, went to college, dropped out because I didn't like to study. And then I finally realized what I really wanted to do was just pursue the theater and film. And I went to a summer program at American Conservatory Theater, met a couple of guys that were starting their own theater conservatory in Orange County, and went there for 2 years, did summer stock for a couple of years, and then came back to Dallas, where I've been for probably 25 years. One other thing I did, I went with the theater company to Amsterdam, helped start a theater company there. We ran out of money, came back in town, and I've been pursuing film and television in Dallas really ever since.
Okay.
And I can expound on that, but that's the long and short of kind of how I got into this business.
Now, were you already a Christian at this time?
So I grew up, going to church. I went to a Baptist church here in Dallas. It was one of those things that I had kind of fallen away and went to Christian camps, et cetera. But then I got really off into more New Age movement type stuff. And when that happened, my wife and I, when I met her, we started arguing about God. And, because I was kind of anything, Buddha, whatever, at that time. And we have these intense arguments about God. And then literally I started going to this Bible study, and just the Holy Spirit just woke me up. And so that was about 23 years ago when I became a born-again Christian. When I say I really made an active, conscious decision to become a Christian. And it changed my life. I mean, it changed the way I perceive things, everything.
But
so
when,
my wife,
Well, I was going to say, when you when you started really getting the interest in acting and pursuing that arena there, you weren't thinking about faith-based films at the time, were you?
No, I wasn't at all, and it wasn't honestly. And at that time in my life, faith-based films were not as prevalent as they are today,
right.
obviously. But so it wasn't until I became a believer that I really started going, hey, I wanted to be a part of more of that. Like I was kind of a part of Actors for Christ in Los Angeles for a very short period of time. While I was there, I'd go to some of their meetings, but I was interested in that. And that was when Kirk Cameron, you know, had become a believer as well. And so I saw that example, and you know, when those opportunities arose, I started to pursue them.
I see, yeah. And you've done quite a bit since then. I know that there's a series we're going to talk about in the next segment that I'm very, very excited about, because I've been wanting to see a good, well-done, episodic, you know, type faith-based series, and you know, they're very difficult to do, and somebody has done a great job of it, and you know, we'll talk about it more on the next segment, of course. But at what point did you make that transition? Then was it right around that time when when you're talking about Kirk Cameron and all that? Is that kind of, did you make a decision, or is it just something that's been happening?
Well, I would say I auditioned. You know, I have agents. I have 3 different agents representing different areas of this United States. I pursue it. You know, I don't say I'm only going to do faith-based, because there's a lot of opportunities out there that present themselves. I am a lot more conscious about what I'm willing to do, and that's on a case-by-case basis. So it's hard for me to spell out, you know, what I want to do. I can give you an example of something maybe later, but you know, like for instance, I was on Breaking Bad. It's obviously a secular series. I'm in another secular type series right now that I can't talk about yet, but you know, those present themselves, and I just have to look at the script and what I can discern from it and go, okay, I'm willing to do this. So that's kind of it.
Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break right now, and then when we come back, we will talk about Vindication a little bit, and you know, you can let us know kind of how that whole process got started. All right.
All right.
Folks, I just want to remind you to write me and let me know that you're out there watching the program. Simply write me at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. We'll be right back.
Sunflowers. To pollinate and reproduce, they turn and face the sun. Nature's way of reminding us that for ultimate growth, we must seek the light. Parables, the leader in empowering entertainment. Parables. Be empowered. Start your free trial today.
I wonder if penguins have knees. I wonder how many colors we can't see. I wonder why there's so many stars in the universe. I wonder if we ever looked like apes.
You want to find out?
I wonder if puppies have belly buttons.
Welcome back to Faith on Film. We're here with my friend Todd Terry, who is part of he's really the principal star of a series that I just absolutely love, but he's done so many other things too. So Todd, So let us know, what else have you been working on that's faith-based? I mean, we love that you're out there in the secular world, and I think it's great to be out there being a salt into the world, or a light into darkness. But what else have you done that's in the faith-based space?
So I think one of my first film projects that was a feature-length film was Seasons of Grey. And then after that, Beyond the Farthest Star.
Oh, yes, I'm familiar with that.
Which was, I really think I'm really proud of that movie. It was really well done, directed, DP'd film that is out there. Maybe on Amazon Prime. I can't remember where it is. That's a couple. Then I did one because of Gracia in the last couple of years.
That movie, yes.
Yeah, and then I was fortunate to be in Unplanned. I was one of the doctors. Not such a likable character, but it's fun to play a bunch of different characters. But I mean, I just loved all of those stories. I mean, I'm proud of everything that I've been able to be a part of, because it's sometimes you're overtly presenting the gospel, and sometimes you're presenting a message about stuff like, the abortion industry that hopefully impacts people in a positive way.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned, of course, Vindication, and I get to see a lot of programming, a lot of movies, documentary series that are sent to me because of Parables. And Vindication was sent to me, the entire series was sent to me, several months before it even released. And I usually will just watch, maybe an episode or kind of skim through it. And I started watching that one, and I tell you, I ended up watching all 10 episodes just at one shot, because I was totally captivated by the characters. And your character really just grabbed me, So how did that happen? How did that get started?
So Jared, I met Jared at a Christian Media Association meeting, and he came up and said, "Hey, I'm doing a short film. Do you want to be a part of it?" And so it was a one-off short film, and it was with Ben Davies. So that's the first episode. Yes. So we shot that, and it got some nice reviews and won some awards and some festivals. And then at one of these festivals in Austin, Jared said, "Hey, I'm thinking about turning it into a series." And I said, "Great, I'd love to be a part." And so he told me the basics of what he was thinking. And within a year, I would say, we started shooting. And we didn't shoot it like a normal series in that, you've got one episode, then you go off to the second episode up to 10 in a stretch of time. This took about 2 years because there was, scripts would be written and had to get approval and et cetera. So, as you can see in the show, my hair literally goes from short to long. And, because I was doing other projects at the time and I couldn't necessarily cut my hair, but that was one of the things that, God willing, we do a second season that I'll try not to let my hair grow so long.
Interestingly enough, the character just grabbed me so much that I didn't even realize that the hair was different. I was just so into the character. So in fact, I mean, it's to a point right now where I'm dying for another season to be produced, because I want to know what happened, for instance, to your daughter. Your partner. There's all these characters that are, the series goes on with various people in various scenarios, but there's that family, which is, of course, you, your wife, your daughter, and your partner, that are regulars. And I want to know what's going to happen, especially to your daughter. What's going to happen there? So I'm dying.
Yeah, I wish I knew, and I wish I could tell you. So but so just to give the audience, information on Vindication that have not seen it, it's part procedural crime drama and part family drama. And the best way I can describe that is, Law and Order, in the sense of there's a new crime every episode or every couple episodes. And then it's also got the family element, like a show like Blue Bloods, not to compare it to any show, but the family is kind of intermixed within the storyline of, investigations and whatnot. So, so it's a nice mix. I also like to tell people that it's not gratuitous, as you said, it's not gratuitous, but it deals with heavy subject matter, which I think is important because, as Christians, sometimes things get in some film, and I'm not blanketing anything, but, we get kind of, we're too scared to show heavy subject matter. But the Bible has a lot of heavy subject matter in it. We do it, I think, in a very non-gratuitous manner that also allows us to talk about those subjects. So
I agree. Probably one of my most impactful ones, one of the ones I enjoyed the most, was the one dealing with child trafficking.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
Yeah, and it just really it was a surprise kind of how it ended, and I'm not going to give anything away because I think people should watch it. And by the way, it's available on Amazon. It has been for a while, and it's really, I think, doing well. I don't know. I see a lot of postings on Facebook. People are absolutely loving it. So I know you don't know, but man, I can't wait till that second season. I can't wait till we have it on Parables, because I think it would be a great series to have on Parables. So
and I'm hoping for a second season. I know people are talking, but that's all I know. So
that's good. Well, listen, we're going to take yet another break. Then when we come back, we'll just find out a little bit about maybe what's in your future, what plans you might have, and how people can get a hold of you, because I really want to make sure people are able to follow you. I noticed I looked for a website, I looked for something on you, and I didn't find anything. So you be ready to let us know how people can get a hold of you on the next segment, right?
Absolutely.
All righty, folks, don't go away. We'll be right back with Todd Terry.
Only one university in the nation was chosen to demonstrate at the World Equestrian Games, and it's the only Christian university in the South offering an equine management major. Only one university produced the video leading into coverage for the Games, and it's the only university with students hired as part of a broadcast crew for 9 Olympic Games. One university, equipping students for a lifetime of leadership and service. Asbury University. Start here, impact the world.
Cell reproduction, more than duplication. It's careful selection and organization, ensuring the perfect balance for development and growth. Powerful, so is our programming. Parables, the leader in empowering entertainment. Parables. Be empowered. Start your free trial today.
Welcome back to Faith on Film. We've been having just a great conversation here with my friend Todd Terry. Todd, so we've learned about your journey into filmmaking. We've learned about the series Vindication. What else is in store for you as we move through this year, 2020?
Well,
and beyond.
As the year's starting to ramp up a little bit. So, as any actor, it's feast or famine. So sometimes you're not working at all, and sometimes you are. But I'm fortunate to have a few projects coming up. One is called Washington's Armor, and it's the story of George Washington. It's based on Bulletproof George Washington on David Barton's book.
Right.
So we've shot one episode of that, and it's being done at Capernaum Studios.
Right.
And also it was shot in Virginia and New York as well. So we've wrapped that first episode, and supposedly there may be 6 total, but we're still waiting to hear on that. Mm-hmm. But I play a character named Colonel William Fairfax, who is basically being conscripted by his cousin, Lord Fairfax, who owns 5 million acres. And other than that, I've got a show, an episodic TV show that's out there currently. I can't tell you the name yet, but I'm presently shooting that, and I'm sure that'll be out in the next year. Mm-hmm. And then I also have another, it's a faith. I think it's a faith conscious film that at some point, hopefully in the next year, I'll be shooting, called Don't Tell a Soul. Glenn Weiss is the director, but that's all I know about that right now.
All right. Now, we've got just a few minutes, and I want to bring up a subject that's kind of a little controversial. I hope I don't put you on the spot here, but it is something that I saw on Facebook recently, where a screenwriter was kind of asking for people's opinion, and he was writing a new script, and he wanted to know how people felt about colorful language, shall we say, or foul language. I'm not really sure exactly how to describe it, but you know what I'm talking about, in a Christian script. And it started a very nice conversation. I'm glad that nobody got really super judgmental about it. They just all gave their opinions. And so I figured, let me start asking something like this and see if we can try to at least raise the conversation about it. How do you feel about that, about language that's a little colorful in a Christian movie?
Yeah, that is a hot topic, I will say. But I've had a couple of experiences in my life, and I may try to answer it directly, but I will say this. I would say probably 7 years ago, I was driving to it wasn't an audition, it was actually a job. I had gotten the job, and it was all voiceover type work. And I just felt impelled to pray like I've never prayed before a job. And so I get there on the job, and I'm handed a new script other than the one I already had. And in that script was every 4-letter word you can imagine.
Wow.
It was just fraught with stuff. And it was set back in the, it was a war era type thing. And I talked to the producer, and I said, I really don't want to do this. But I mean, I had prayed so fervently, and I said, God, you're in control. I'm going to do my job. So, long story short, this is the first time I ever was fired from a job. I literally got in maybe a couple of sentences where I wasn't really saying anything that was offensive to me. And the guy said, I'm not buying the accent. And I got fired. Well, the funny thing is I had auditioned with several accents very similar to that and got the job. But yet when I got there, so to me, it was a God's grace deal. And I knew why I prayed fervently. Long story short, I ended up getting several jobs from the same producer after that that were in the faith element of acting, which was great. So it was a great testimony. But I have been on shows before where I auditioned. It had some language I didn't want to say. And I'm not going to point out specific words and all that because everybody's different. And I'm not opposed to it. I just, it has to be appropriate for what it is, because I've had people walk out of a movie that I had been a part of that was a faith-based film, and it had some words that I felt were very tame, but on the edge of what people consider cursing. And for me, it didn't affect my conscience, but it affected this other person. So I want to be, sensitive to that. But I have talked to directors before and said, I really don't want to say these words. And we had a little small battle, but at the end, he said, okay, that's fine. And I felt like it presented the character just as well without me having to, throw out some words I didn't want to say.
Yeah, this has got to be tough on producers and directors and writers, because on the one hand, they want to create content that's very realistic and relevant. I mean, you wouldn't have a complete total gangbanger, saying, oh, darn it, kind of a thing. But
exactly. So there is appropriate times for that. I think it's just, but I understand the argument, and I think it's, I'm not going to give a hard and fast rule on that myself, because I don't want to be a hypocrite next time I do something. I make a choice, but I think it's a choice. You have to make a choice on what you're willing to do.
Well, thank you. Thank you for giving us your opinion on that. I don't think it'll ever be completely decided, because there's always going to be people on either side of that argument. But listen, if people want to get a hold of you and just kind of follow you, find out what all you're doing, how would they do that?
So I'm on Instagram. That's primarily what I do. Instagram, which goes to Facebook, but at Todd Terry Actor, at Todd Terry Actor on Instagram. And then that's my main acting profile. And then also Todd Terry Video on the internet is where is my website page. It has some of my demo reel work and things like that.
Well, terrific. Well, thank you for joining, taking the time and joining us today, and just letting us know all about what you're doing. And everybody go out there and look for that series, Vindication. It is available on Amazon, and I'm telling you, you're going to love it. It's one of the best things I've seen in a long, long time. So, Terry, once again, thank you so very much, all right?
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You bet. Folks, don't go away. We're going to be right back.
I never realized how much work goes into taking care of horses.
You think that's hard? Try taking care of thousands of animals at the same time.
Go ahead. Think bigger.
Cell reproduction, more than duplication. It's careful selection and organization, ensuring the perfect balance for development and growth. Powerful, so is our programming. Parables, the leader in empowering entertainment. Parables. Be empowered. Start your free trial today.
I wonder how long a dolphin lives. I wonder if they can make cookies in space. I wonder when people started brushing our teeth. I wonder if people and dinosaurs ever lived together.
Want to find out?
I wonder how much a cloud weighs.
Welcome back to Faith on Film. I thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's program. Make sure and check out Todd Terry's series Vindication. I'm telling you, it is amazing. You're going to want to binge watch on every episode there is. And of course, you can always check out some great content on Parables TV, a place where you can watch great movies, documentaries, reality shows, children's shows, all kinds of great content for you and your family. Simply go to parables.tv. That's parables.tv. And of course, I want to invite you to write me. Let me know that you're out there. Let me know you're watching the program. Simply write me at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. And of course, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at faithonfilmtv. That's at faithonfilmtv. Remember, if you want to keep your soul healthy, you've got to feed it some good, healthy entertainment. Until next week, take care.